Battlegrounds Season 15. Hello everybody, we're back to the old proper videos where we look at new seasons of Battlegrounds and some of the various champions that will require or potential setups that we'll have to do for it. So Season 15 drops tomorrow and this should be the final video of Tuesday unless Caban break the game on a Tuesday, which is, yeah, it may be possible. So, look. Champion selection is going to be very important. Fielding a defense is going to be very important. We've got a video, we've got a spreadsheet. Links in the description. Go and check it out. We're going to be referring to it in this video. So one of the main things in order to set things up is that skill champions are going to play a key element. Are they, or are they not? This is all going to be about posturing and finding the best counters to what you think someone else is going to field as a response to the champions you field. It's a game like that. It is a game in general. So defenders, when they attack against a bar of power, they are afflicted with a power sting debuff for 10 seconds. Intercepting the defender while the power sting is active removes it and inflicts it on the defender itself. You may choose to put skill champions as defenders. I'm not saying you will do. I'm not saying you won't. I'm just saying that you never know what's going to happen. It may be a case you'll play into the narrative of throwing the power sting to the enemy. It may be a case you choose champions that are able to shrug off said power sting that comes in from you. And of course, after doing those for every 5 critical hits, you're able to purify a non-damaging debuff. And also there's defender gains plus 60% power combat power rate while below 1 bar of power, but suffers minus 80% combat power rate while above, so effectively kind of like stagnating you on an SP1 type thing. So if you're looking for certain champions to put as defenders, you probably won't, but all annoying defenders will probably be key. So let's get over to the fun thing, and the fun thing is the various champion options that you could be fielding in this particular event. Now what I've done for this spreadsheet is I've just put like a hodgepodge of champion options, which you can see on screen right now. I'm just getting these better into shot. There we go. So attacking options, if you are playing into the narrative, and as I've put at the top, please read everything that I've put on kind of like elements. There are some disclaimers which are the following. So for attackers, debuff, shrugging, purifying champions will make it easier. Of course they will. Skill champions will purify after 5 crit hits. Of course they will. But defense, and as I said, I feel champs that gain power could be good, but mutant defenders suppress most, if not all, players playing into the node narrative. So again, to kind of explain that, if you put down a defense of skill to purify the intercepted power sting, then you are guessing that that is how the opponent will play, and it might not work. So it's like saying, for example, I go, well, I think that the enemy is going to field a load of skill attackers. Okay, I'll put in a skill champion as a defender myself. That is like a Tuma, Baron Zima. But in all actuality, that may not be the case. And they'll field different champions against that. So I'm trying to make sure the power sting is not intercepted off of me. So look, we're getting into layers of kind of like counter-tactic based situations. That may be the case. And the one thing I want to point out is, just go in and experiment. That's the best thing. So what we're doing in this video is just providing you with options. So lots of skill-based champions will be able to help you out in some sort of element if you are looking to play into, you know, shrugging that power sting off. Yes, you can intercept it and take that power sting onto the enemy, but you may not want to play it like that. You may want to play a bit cautiously. Again, down to you and your own personal play style with certain champions. With all the champions on screen, whether or not it's a Tuma, Crossbones, Kingpin, Black Cat, and then we've got Misty Knight's Bowman. We've got Shang-Chi. We've got, I think, Phase 2 of Nick Fury. And any other kind of skill-based champion, because it's not just about, you know, Mamaska doesn't really do the kind of purification, nor does Gwenpool. But what they are skill champions, and as well they can do crits. Every 5 crits, it plays into the element of it. But of course, I don't think it suppresses the idea of using, like, you can still use other champions, and that's the thing that I'm kind of pointing out is here. Like, you can use really hard-hitting champions to make a difference. You've just got to either play into the narrative of the node of the power sting to intercept, Or it's a case of just going, well, when you got a power sting on you, don't throw a special attack. That's pretty much it. It's on there for 10 seconds and then goes away. So again, down to how you want to play. But Hulks, Human Torches, Omega Sentinels, Shuris, King Groots, Infamous Iron Mans, you name it. Gamora, 7-star Gamora, like any kind of Gamora, Archangel. There's going to be tons of champions that are going to be, able to be well used here and utilized. Scorpion, from attack-based purposes, that is. But then again, you want to think about your annoying defenders. And could it be a case of if you've got an enemy that is just fielding those, pesky skill champions that are going to play into the node from an attacking perspective, well, what do you throw in counter to that? Well, you could throw annoying mutants. Like Sauron, like Apocalypse, like Bishop, like Domino, like Emma Frost, like Kitty Pryde, like Havoc, like Weapon X, and the list goes on. There's tons of different options with that. And of course, for you then have to make the decision, how am I countering that? Is it, again, as we said, are you going down the skill route and having some of these skill-based champions mentioned, or are you going to be having some of the other attacking options? Like Nimrod, take on those mutants and have him in your deck. Hulkling, because Hulkling do what Hulkling does, and he absolutely kind of like does do. America Chavez, Spider-Ham, another kind of great example of, those Porker Poppers absolutely decimating any enemy you go against without worrying about those power stings. Could even use Quake, a 5-star ascended Quake, maybe not. Hulk, Kingpin as well. Well, that's kind of plays into the attack element of it. Longshot, Titania, maybe, depending on the situation. Falcon, again, depending on the situation. Overseer. And the list goes on with kind of like meta options. I've put in the spreadsheet something that we've referred to back a few times, and that is something created by Cam. Shout out to Cam, Cam MCOC on Twitter, who's got this amazing tier list, which just kind of like, I think just helps out and gives perspective to the player base when it comes to like, relevant, non-relevant options to kind of utilize having your deck, and just helping out matters. And it's important because you've got Xerxes as well, another defender option, and that's something that I have put in the spreadsheet, is that there are going to be a list of champions, which I will at one stage get an infographic together properly with it. It's just sometimes it's just difficult to have like just loads of images of champions when I just want to talk about different things and have things set out in a certain way I like. But look, you got tons. Gallon, Lady Deathstrike, Man-Thing, Mephisto, Mojo. The list goes on with kind of like champions that could be helpful to you. Spider-Man, all the different Spider-Man, Spider-Man Supreme, Spot, Terex. Again, tons of different options. And this again will then make you think twice about the champions you're using and how you may be inclined to go, well, I need not just to play into the skill dominant base node, but also I need options that are going to be countering some of the different opponents that I'm likely going to see. I suspect as well Onslaught to be there as an annoying defender, and that's one I haven't mentioned in this list, but do bear in mind we are very close, I think, is to the next 6-star featured, and I'm not saying that Onslaught is in that, but I want to say that look, new champions are in, and if new champions are in the upcoming featured 6-star, then, and that's 34 days away. Actually, will we get a season of that? We probably won't actually, probably just miss it. But yeah, like that's something to note. Oh, we might actually just do it, so the final week may be a bit annoying. Anyway, I've also put into the spreadsheet a little bit of a bit of information about the node changes. Especially when you get to Gladiator Circuit. I personally don't see a huge change between the first week and the victory track, and then going into Gladiator Circuit for the first week. As I've said here, annoying champions, so champs from the previous list, are probably going to be the ones that will be just generally kind of like annoying, and then power control champions will play into that, I think, as same thing applies. This is where encroaching stun, I think, will cause some frustrations. So again, it's up to you. You either as I've said, where is it? Here. So any from the attacker list from previous tab, debuff Shrugger or for stun debuff, or manage your power to hold on to an SP1 for the timer finish in the top left. So encroaching stun basically means you're going to get a stun on you, shrug it off, or throw a special attack close to the end of the timer, and of course that would deal with it. From your defense side of things, power control champions that are genuinely annoying, that sap your power, could be the ones to look out for. So a lot of tech-based champions, in particular Penny Parker, I think will be a really annoying defender for that. Of course, bring a counter for it, and power control immune. But again, this is something we need to point out again, and we keep pointing out, is we're talking about layers of countering here, that it's either a case of one time you'll go in and you won't have, you know, someone will, in Gladiator Circuit week 1 will have that Penny Parker, and you're like, damn, I didn't bring a counter for that. You're going to lose power, be unable to throw a special attack at the right time and get stunned. I'm not saying that will happen, but I'm just saying, you know, prepare for eventualities, having options to counter counters. And as I said, there's going to be so much complexity to doing that. When it comes to the 3rd and 4th week, I don't see a huge amount of change, except for defense-based champions that will be just generally annoying, which, you know, we said is on the first kind of list, and we've named them off so far. And yeah, just champions that are able to put on debuffs. If you got defender champions that are throwing on debuffs more regularly and quickly, like Human Torch, Bishop, Kindred, Void, example of those are there, you're gonna go unblockable. And if you go unblockable, and then it's gonna be annoying. Even more so because look, you have to build steadfast charges, so you could either block unblockables with the likes of Red Guardian, Spot, Wiccan, Kashala, Strife. And again, not saying you have to or you could do, it's just a case of, look, it's up to you, isn't it? Whether or not you're using skill champions to shrug those debuffs off, whether or not you're playing into it a different way. But do bear in mind as well, and the main thing is, expect the unexpected, and expect your opponent to be putting up some annoying champions, and they won't play into being nicey, and that won't be something like, oh, we're just gonna, oh, skill champion, oh, I'm gonna throw this kind of nice science champion at you in defense. No, they want to win as much as you do. So expect the unexpected, adapt, also give it a try, and try some combinations of champions. Up to you whether or not you want to take examples that I've submitted in the spreadsheet, which the link is in the description. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely Battlegrounds Season 15. And see you all soon. Check out some other content located on screen. And bye-bye for now.